what would you think of when you think Sega Saturn? It is considered Sega's biggest failure in the gaming industry by many fans and gamers around the world. But is the Sega Saturn that bad? Well, there's only one way to find out. Review it. Well, here is the Sega Saturn box, so let's open it up and see what we got. First off, here's a controller, which is very similar to the Mega Drive controller, except it's got additional controllers and sort of L and R button at the top, which is used for the CD player in the Sega Saturn. We have regular AC adapter, which is exactly the same as the Dreamcast, so it's easy to replace, basically. We have the RF connection, don't really use that. And once we get this monster out, the Sega Saturn. Let's take a look at the console. We have two inputs there for the controllers, Sega logo, very nice. You have power button there, turns the system on and off, LED, lights indicate when it's on and off, an open button, so you can put the discs in and take them out, reset, resets the console, and the logo for the Sega Saturn there. We have cartridge input, which is used to expand the memory of the system and allows you to play imported games. And on the back we have a video card slot, which is, I'm not too sure what it does, but that's where the main memory is located, the battery, which can be easily replaced. We have the communications connector there, which was, I believed it was used to connect to the internet, but the service wasn't around for long. That's when the Dreamcast was in production, I believe. We have AV output for the TV and AC input to power the console. Yep, so the console itself is quite heavy. I wouldn't say it was the best designed console, but it's pretty good. I like it. Yeah. Now we can't really review the Sega Saturn without quickly mentioning its competitors, the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64. Now, the Sega Saturn bears quite a few similarities with the PlayStation, such as the buttons available and the ability to play CDs. And the Nintendo 64 is slightly different because it has 4 controller inputs and it uses cartridges, but compared with the sales for the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64, the Sega Saturn was the least earning because it was the most expensive console, and while the other consoles were focusing on 3D games, the Sega Saturn stuck to 2D games, which wasn't bad, but a lot of people expected 3D games, so its 3D capabilities weren't utilised as they should have been, unfortunately, but the games aren't too bad, I suppose. Some of the cases used for the Sega Saturn games. First off, it's Virtua Fighter 2. Instruction manual was plain black and white. The game discs come out too easily, so they can get scratched, damaged or lost. The cases, in fact, are quite similar to the DVD case size, slightly different. It feels weak, feels like it might break, bit cheap, and look, tape's already been used. You can probably just about tell there. That's a great sign before you even played the game. And if you compare it with a PlayStation casing, look, it is quite a bit bigger, so it uses much more material than a PlayStation 1 case. Now here is the American version of Bug, the Sega Saturn. The casing here is done quite a bit better than the European casing for these games. Yep, but still it uses a bit more room than is probably necessary. And to play imported games such as American version of Bug or Japanese games, you'll need a Universal Pro adapter, which is inserted into the cartridge slot, which I showed you earlier, so you can add memory to the system and play imported games, which is a big bonus. This is the main menu for the Sega Saturn. You've got all your basic options to play CDs with, and plus more advanced options, but won't get into that here. Let's look at a few games. First we have Bug. This is the American version, which I showed you earlier. And it's, well, I don't know what to say about it really. A bug, we gather that much. You collect like gem things, kind of like in Mario Brothers and Sonic. You bounce on bugs with your sort of stingy thing. I don't know what sort of bug you're supposed to be. You can't get up there. Ooh, bug juice, and oh, dang. And oh, slipped off there, and I'm dead. The graphics are okay, pretty interesting, but not too sure. Next we have Cyber Speedway, a very exciting racing game, I might add. Now, I didn't know what to expect when I first got it. I mean, the graphics aren't great, but the music is surprisingly pretty good if you just have a listen. Driving like a drunk for some reason, I don't know why. I mean, I don't think the controls for the control pad are very good for this. It's quite awkward actually. Oh, just bouncing all over the place. Ow! Watch it! Yeah. So anyway, the graphics aren't great. The game, the controls are a bit awkward, I think. Maybe if you have a different type of control it might be better. You get rockets as well, shooting them at other players. And I'm second, do I win? No, I'll just lose. It's an interesting game. The music's pretty good actually. I wouldn't mind having it on my iPod. But not a great racing game though. Next we have Virtua Fighter 2, yes. And you get a good selection of characters to play with. Yep, so I'll be this guy at the very beginning. Akira, or whatever you pronounce it, and this is a fight. The controls are really good actually. I'm really surprised. The controls for this game are better than Bug and Cyber Speedway. It was a good final game. Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A game which I can actually beat the other player. That is actually good. Ooh, do a little celebration dance. Whoa! No offence meant there. The graphics are really good, I have to say. I really like the graphics for the time. Yep, it's all 2D. Makes it look like a 3D environment, but yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's a good game. Ooh, good combos with the controls. So overall, it's a good game. Definitely get it for the Sega Saturn if you've got the Sega Saturn. Boo! He's out of the ring. Boo! Winner! Yay! So to conclude this review, what can I say about the Sega Saturn? Well, it's not the worst console, but yet again it's not the greatest. I would recommend it to Sega fans and arcade fans in general, yeah, because it's got games suitable for those sort of fans. Other gamers might struggle to find some good games on it, but there are some good titles worth checking out. Some good shooters, good fighters, good loads of stuff. Yep, so do a bit of research and see if it's worth getting. Yep, I'm looking forward to looking at new Sega games and reviewing some in the future, hopefully. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed my review of the Sega Saturn. So until next time, keep playing, but not play crap, with the Sega Saturn.